Hello, everyone. So today I'm doing something that I haven't done in a while. I'm doing another story time, and that's just because I enjoy telling you guys stories, and I think you guys probably enjoy them as well. Um, I find them funny, and as long as I can keep them relatively concise, it seems like you guys think they're funny too. And before I go on, as you can probably see, I no longer have my luscious mane of hair, but I have a bit more of a minimalist look and a sensible hairstyle, and that's due to my wonderful girlfriend who gave me an absolutely amazing haircut yesterday. Um, it looked even better yesterday because she styled it for me, but uh, I don't know how to do that, and so it kind of looks a little bit uh, messed up, but it still looks pretty good. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the story time. Anyways, for those of you who don't know me in real life, I used to work at Taco John's, and I mean, I still work at Taco John's in the summer, but less frequently. Anyways, I've always been kind of the low man on the totem pole, and that's fine. I mean, it's minimum wage, or as close to minimum wage as you can get nowadays. It's really low paying labor, and I don't have any marketable skills, so that's kind of just how it goes. But I have had a long standing feud with like manual labor jobs there. I'm really good at the drive-through and I'm really good at the cash register, but that's about it. Anything that involves me doing anything with my hands, I am horrible at. So that's why the career path that I want to focus on in life is more working with my brains and less with my hands, but that's a story for another time. Anyways, the longest standing feud I have at work is actually with the dumpster outside. And that sounds a bit weird, but that's for good reason. My feud with the dumpster started during my first 4 months or so of working there. So that would be like 3 years ago now. It's a pretty long time. Anyways, I I was told to go outside and throw the garbage away, and so I went outside and I threw the bag, but the bag was a little bit lighter than I thought, so I threw it a little bit harder than I thought, and so it landed on the lid of the dumpster. And so it was kind of just stuck there, and I didn't know what to do, so I looked around and I grabbed this broomstick that was laying nearby, and I took it and I started whacking the garbage bag to try and get it to fall into the can, but in the process of whacking it, I ended up splitting the bag open, and I was like, "Okay, well, this isn't gonna work, it's gonna get garbage everywhere, and then I'm gonna either have to clean it up or I'm gonna leave it there for somebody else to clean up, and then I'm gonna get in trouble probably." So okay, so there was a thin little area of space between the dumpster and the fence around the dumpster area. And sitting in that little bit of space, there was this little rock pillar thing that's kind of like it's an outdoor ashtray, and it came up to about my hip. So it's probably about 3.5, 4 feet tall. Um, and it's blocking my way. So what I do is I climb over that and then I go over to where the garbage is sitting on top of the dumpster and then I climb up the side of the fence a little bit and knock it in with my hand. But then I lose my grip on the fence and I fall down and I'm just kind of standing there and I'm stuck because I can't climb back over the pyramid thing because I used the fence to kind of climb over it and I wasn't sure if I could get back up on the fence, and so I tried to get back up on the fence a couple of times and I kind of slipped off, and so what should have taken 30 seconds to run out the garbage is now run into 5 minutes, and I was starting to think that I should start writing notes to my loved ones that they can give to them when they find my dead body back there. Um, but then I try one last time to get over the rock pillar thing using the fence, and I kind of like do a combo move, which ends up with me like basically falling on my face as I'm getting out of there, but I did finally get out. And then I told nobody because it would be far too embarrassing for me to fess up to. But that was the first encounter with the dumpster that became a long-standing feud. Over here, here's a little entryway, and that thing right there was a lot closer to the front. And so I had to like jump over it, and then I got stuck. So that's a little bit of like the layout of everything. The next one didn't come until about 6 months after the first one, and this one happened in April. And for anyone who isn't in Wisconsin, it's actually pretty common in February to April, somewhere in there, to have ice storms, which is where freezing rain comes down and it coats everything in ice. So it's just what it sounds like. But again, I was told to take out the garbage during this ice storm, and I get out there, and the fence that led to the dumpster had this little metal pole thing where you pull it out of the ground and then pull the door out, and then put it back and put the door back, and when you're done. And so this was during an ice storm. The entire mechanism where you pull the thing up and pull the door out is coated in a thick layer of ice, and the little hole that the metal pole goes into in the ground is also coated in ice. So it's literally impossible for me to pull the pole up because it's frozen into the ground. And so I start trying to find a way to get in there. I've got gloves on, and I look around and I see that there's this tree branch that fell down because it was the ice it got coated in was way too heavy. And so I grab the tree branch and I carry it over to where the pole is, and I start like chiseling away at the ice. And I do that for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm cold as shit the whole time because it's windy and it's still raining out, and I'm making no headway at all. And so I just head back inside, and I'm still holding the garbage bag, and um yeah, I told them that I couldn't get the thing open, and they were a little confused, but then they understood, and that made me really upset because it was stupid that I couldn't get it open. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the handle that you have to pull up, that little part on top you pull up on, and then that part comes out of the ground, and then the door swings open. And while to date I've had a lot of different feuds with the dumpster at my job, the most recent substantive one happened probably a year ago, maybe. But once again, I was told to take the trash out. So I went out there and I opened up the door, and it was a really super windy day. And so I kind of had to like wedge myself in between the door and where the little hole is that the pole goes into, so that it wouldn't swing shut because of the wind. And so I do that, and then I reach out to grab the bag, and this one was a pretty heavy one. And so when I picked it up and threw it in, like the momentum of the bag kind of caught me off guard, and so I lost my balance. I ended up tripping into the little pen where the garbage bin is, and the wind swung the door shut on me. And so I'm stuck in there, and the door is like there's not enough space for me in there with the door closed and the dumpster. So I'm kind of like pressed with my back up against the dumpster, and I don't really know what to do because I'm kind of stuck. And once again, uh 2 or 3 minutes pass with me like wriggling around trying to kick the door open or anything, which obviously wasn't going to work because it was like tightly shut because of the bar going into the hole, which prevents the door from opening on its own. Um, And what ended up having to happen is I laid down on the ground and I like picked the pole up out of the ground with my hands and like pushed the door open and then quickly stuck my leg out so that the door wouldn't close. And then somehow, by like a miracle of defying gravity, I was able to like stand up with my leg out holding the door open, and then I just pushed the door open once I was on my own 2 feet and got out. And as far as I'm aware, none of my coworkers know that any of these things happened, but yeah, it was embarrassing. I still hate that dumpster, and I do not look forward to ever going back there and facing that dumpster again because so far the dumpster has the edge on our many feuds together. There's the amount of space between the door and the dumpster right there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Remember to subscribe and like if you haven't already. And I'm going to be trying something new with putting links to other videos in like the end screen. Um, so if you get to the end and that's there, then obviously it worked. And if it didn't, well, just click on my channel and all of the other videos will be there, but hopefully it works. And I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.